Hello and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you've come from. You have arrived at ISSIP's semi-annual call with our board of directors, to which all ISSIP members are welcome. And today we also have a few invited guests. I'm Michele Carroll, Executive Director of ISSIP, the International Society of Service Innovation Professionals. And here's our agenda for today. It's a jam-packed hour. I ask that unless you are the speaker whose slide is on the screen, please mute your microphone. And we do very much encourage you to use the chat to comment, to ask questions, to add resources, say hello, tell us where you're coming in from. We encourage that interaction. We're going to start in a minute with a welcome, some special recognitions, and a vision from our new president for 2024, Deb Stokes of Dell Technologies. And then we'll turn to a progress report on 2023 with a note to priorities in 2024 from each of the leaders of our key focus areas. I'm going to walk through briefly, as you see here, kind of the highline metrics, how we're measuring our growth story and engagement generally. And then we're going to do, and that will be brief, then we're going to dig a little deeper with Jim Spohrer, co-founder and board director of ISSIP, who's going to talk more about what is engaging our members, what they're coming in for, what's interesting, what's driving value for members in 2023 particularly. And then we'll hear from Haroon Abbu of Bell & Howell, who chairs our Service Innovation Excellence Awards, Christine Ouyang of IBM, who leads our ambassadors program, and Deb Satterfield's report on AI Collab, the academic industry collaboration offering launched for the first time in 2023. And then new, you'll meet Vaishali Mane and hear of the campaign she's going to be facilitating this year as we grow to stay connected with each other. The Give, Get, Grow campaign. How do you want to give, get, and grow with ISSIP? And then new this time, we're going to hear in that 15-minute block toward the end directly from our board members and our newest institutional members, why they've joined, why supporting ISSIP, and a key priority for 2024. And then Deb Stokes will be back. Hopefully we'll have a few more minutes for Q&A. And again, please do put those questions and comments in the chat, and we'll be addressing them then. With that, let me turn it over to ISSIP President 2024, Debra Stokes of Dell Technologies.
Welcome, everyone. I am delighted to be here today. Hope everyone will enjoy the session that we've got planned for you. There's going to be a lot of content in a short period of time, so tee up those questions. So in case there's anything that we don't happen to cover, you've got your question in the queue. As Michele said, I am with Dell Technologies, and it's my very esteemed honor to be part of the ISSIP program as the president for 2025. I think we can say that we've seen a record year coming through. Look at the numbers that are on the slide there, how we've been increasing the ISSIP participation and presence. One of the things that I think that we should take a quick think about is, where do we want to go with ISSIP this year? Our strategy council met earlier this month, and we're looking at kind of our theme being the work transformation in the AI age. And this, looking at this way, will give us somewhat of an umbrella, if you will, to work forward on our seminars, our Discovery Summit that'll be coming up later in the year. What are some of the key topics that we want to talk to? It brings together some of the past ISSIP directions that we've had, particularly around what the workforce of the future looks like, and pulling in some of those AI technologies that we spoke about last year at a number of our events. So I think having this kind of overarching topic will really help us to talk about things from exploring how the AI evolution is going to be changing the work dynamics, how it's going to be changing the global hybrid work environment that we're all in for the upcoming future, and really looking at addressing the challenges and the opportunities about this evolving transformation in what I would call the age of AI that we happen to be in right now. Thankfully, it's not an ice age. Spring is on the way, but we definitely are in an AI age right now. So next slide. I do want to welcome to ISSIP to our board, Vanita Wells. And I thought I saw Vanita come on the line. So Vanita, I can say all kinds of wonderful and fantastic things about you, but I'd much rather, why don't you say a few words of introduction about yourself?
Hi, yes, I am here. Good to see you all. I am currently Vice President of Customer and Inventory Operations at Meta, the Reality Labs part of Meta. We're the hardware organization of what was formerly known as Facebook. So we build and deliver and support all of our virtual reality and augmented reality products. I'm really pleased to be here as well. So thank you for the warm welcome from everybody.
Thank you so much. And I'm also so extremely pleased and proud to announce Nicole Reinke, who will be our vice president going forward in the this year for ISSIP, and then next year she will be our president. Nicole will be chairing our strategy council going forward this year, and I have to tell you from my past experience of working with Nicole previously at Dell, we have elected a very wonderful person who's going to do some fantastic things for ISSIP in the future. I don't think Nicole was able to join us this afternoon. I don't quite see her on the list right now, but definitely welcome her and what she will be bringing to ISSIP and the experience and expertise in certain areas that she'll bring to the table. The next slide. And I think it goes without saying, you, Paul, you're a hard act to follow, to be very honest. You have done such an amazing job as our president over the last couple of years. You'll be staying on helping us as part of the executive council and the strategy council, and also working on some of our recognition and our election processes going forward in the future. And you can see all of the accomplishments that you, Paul, has done for us over the last couple of years. As vice president and president, but he's really been just such a great figurehead for ISSIP to have as a leader. I want to thank him very much. As a round of applause. I don't know if he's able to join us this afternoon, but if you are on, you, Paul, do you have any closing remarks as president heading out? He might not be there today, but definitely, it's recorded. We appreciate your contributions and really look forward to your continued contributions to ISSIP in the future. As I said, we've got quite a vision for 2024. We think the transformation of work, how it's going to work, not only from a US perspective, but even a more closer focus on globally, what does work transformation in the AI age will look like. And we're hoping to accelerate the growth that Michele is going to tell you about in more detail in the next slide. And again, welcome to the ISSIP community. If there are friends and family that you want to include in our community, the door is open. We enjoy having a very broad distribution of our group. We look forward to, we bring in all kinds of different perspectives, all kinds of different experts, and we come together, and I think we do some pretty amazing things in ISSIP. And so with that, I look forward to working with all of you. Please do reach out if you ever have any questions, comments, or observations you want to share with me. And now I'll turn it back over to Michele.
Thank you, Deb. So we have two broad goals as an organization. We had in 2023, and as Deb mentioned, it's unchanged. We're still looking to grow the organization, which is about building awareness of ISSIP and then membership in it, individual members, institutional members. And the second goal is to deepen engagement and value of the organization for our members. So as Deb mentioned, we're up now to 1751 and growing in individual members. And we're gaining visibility now with some analytics underway of who that 1751 is, what proportion is industry, academic, where they are in the world, where they are in the newer work, on that lifelong learning path, and where they are in career, for example. So trying to better understand you, all of you, and what it is you're seeking in this membership association. We chose LinkedIn as our platform for building awareness, and we prioritize LinkedIn, putting out our news and events and what's happening and the work that all of you are doing. Our followers have doubled again this year. Well, 40% growth again this year after 40% last year. We're up to, actually it was 978 this morning. So pushing in on 1,000 followers in LinkedIn, which I still think is a zero off where we should be for the caliber of what we are. So absolutely, as Deb is fond of saying, this year it's about scaling that growth. So more people, more engagement in what, right? We hosted 19 events in 2023, hundreds of participants tuning in on the day, 350 plus, and a really cool dynamic because I think of different time zones, busy schedules, just life intervening, as always. Hundreds of people, however many checked in on the day, hundreds of people checking out the recordings on YouTube at later, right? So that's going on. But we had record-setting 237 people registered for the Discovery Summit, the Technology for Good Summit. Another, actually, I think Jim will share 170 view the YouTube later, and 100 some present on the day. So good engagement level across event. There it is. And we named 9 new ambassadors early in 2023, and there are 19 now in the pipeline. That's a mix of second half 23 and this month another 4, so 19 about to be named of amazing people. Jim will talk a little more about ambassadors out to other organizations, leading collaborations, credentials, historically badging and now digital credentials. ISSIP, and please do mute yourselves. In ISSIP's history, we've given out 523 digital credentials, 142 of them last year. So scaling, right? As Jim and Stephen Spohrer have worked together on automating that process of production and recognizing the people contributing to excellence in service innovation and to ISSIP's work in advancing innovation. We gave out 4 excellence in service innovation awards last year. First time there were 4. They're typically the 3, 4 impact on society, to business, to innovation itself. And then last year there was an overall winner that Haroon will be telling you about. And we gave 8 distinguished recognitions. And that's in 2023 on a total of 18 such awards in ISSIP's history and 41 distinguished recognitions for advancing, for excellence in service innovation. We sponsored 10 conferences, 2 of which where ISSIP leadership judges the paper submitted and awards a best paper. And we're doing the same again this year. Slightly different makeup, but 10 sponsored conferences again. And there were 28 blog posts. Folks like Utpal Mangala did a great one. Nicole Reinecke, Deb has done one, Jim Spohrer, several, just deep, insightful pieces on the ISSIP blog on topics of interest. And Haroon was another who contributed some insights to blogs. Haroon Demirkian and Jim Spohrer managed the publishing, helping members publish books that want to. And we published 11 in 2023. And of 78 in our history. And I think Jim had said there were something like 15, is it, currently in the pipeline to publish this year. And every month, ISSIP puts out a digest of what's going on, the kinds of work and events and activities. And I want to actually mention Zara Shasaya, who I saw had logged on, for doing the Herculean task of pulling together what those 88 ambassadors are doing, events and activities out there, and putting it in a digest for you within the newsletter. And she also does the recommended reading list that's at the end of each monthly newsletter. And we welcome Salvatore Mochia this year back, who was the editor-in-chief of ISSIP News before Cecilia Lee in the last 2 years, beautifully handling that work. Salvatore is back as a guest contributing editor this year, and you probably saw his insights piece in January, and he'll do that every quarter, kind of a look at trends and insights and what's happening in the world. So it is a story of growth and a solid operational year. More people, more events, more awards, recognizing good work, publishing, a lot more activity, but on what? In what? What's interesting people? Where's the value? So let's turn it over to Jim Spohrer to talk a little about that more deeply. Over to you, Jim.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Michele. I have to say a big thank you to Michele Carroll, our executive director, because if you haven't been out to see the website lately, it is getting more and more beautiful and more easy to navigate. And I'm sure, Michele, with your great instincts in marketing leadership, we will achieve that goal of getting ISSIP up to, in the top 10 websites when you search for service innovation. ISSIP right now is #1 if you search for service innovation professionals. But if you search for service innovation, I think we're still down around 25. But I think in 2024, with the goal of getting to top 10, we should be able to do that. It's been a really impressive year, and what Michele asked me to do is to just give a little bit of a sense of when ISSIP members do things, and it's always about teamwork and members, because we do things, we're a membership organization. We have individual members who volunteer. Things happen because an individual member will volunteer to write a blog post. And I see Madhavi, one of our new ambassadors on, she wrote 2 blog posts. She wrote one in 2023 and one in 2024. So it's because of ISSIP members who volunteer to do things like blog posts, events, that things happen. And when things happen, ISSIP as a platform allows those members to get visibility. So when we did the Service System Sustainability Ambassador panel, not only was that out there on LinkedIn, and we got some great reviews on that, but we also got views on our YouTube, 125 views. The other thing that ISSIP does where we always get good attendance is when we do things around skills. So the Industry 5.0 Skills Ambassador panel that got 110 views, lots of participation in that. Recently, in January, we did the T-shaped skills. We had over 100 people register for that within 2 weeks. So whenever we do things that talk about T-shaped adaptive innovators skills, we get a lot of interest. Also, I just want to call out the Tech for Good Discovery Summit. Several of you participated in that. That was in September. Great, over 250 registrations. I think that was the highest registrations we've gotten for any ISSIP event so far. So that was great progress. Women in Tech panel was fantastic. And I just want to do a shout out to that, as well as the Digital Twin panel. And again, all this happens because you volunteer and you work together to make great things happen. And in terms of SlideShare, the Tech for Good presentation got 147 views, and the Service System Sustainability got about 58 views. So I think we're starting to see, when we put things out that are of great interest to the community, we get hundreds of registrations, hundreds of views, and I'm sure that's only going to grow over time as our membership grows. And we had a very, very good year for membership growth. So if you want to go to the next slide, I'll just say, without reading these slides, we've got some great conferences and collaborations conferences. This is, again, primarily due to our ISSIP ambassadors, who are leaders in these conferences and often give out best paper awards. So ISSIP can give out digital certification. So when you see that digital certification number, a chunk of that is best paper awards at conferences. The other thing I want to say is ISSIP has been around since 2012. And one of the things Michele asked me to do this last year that was, oh, my cat decided to jump up here. Sorry. she asked me to go through all the membership. And at first I was thinking, oh my gosh, that's going to be a lot of work because we've got like 1,700 members, right? And I start going through one by one, looking at them. And it wasn't long before I noticed that some of the students from 2012, some of them are now like senior vice presidents in startup companies, or they're one young student from University of Washington. She is now the head of HR at Blue Origins, the space company. So I started getting excited as I was looking through our ISSIP membership and seeing just the progress that the members have made over the years. And sometimes it was because they got a best paper award at a conference that gave them a little boost in their career. So I think all of us as members of the ISSIP Professional Association, we all have to keep in mind that service innovation is a special kind of innovation. It's not just technology innovation. It's not just business model innovation. It's not just legal, regulatory, institutional, social innovation. Service innovations always combine all three of those and evolve over time. So I think ISSIP is very, very attractive now, especially in the AI era, as people are starting to see some of the, harms of technology. If you don't think of the underserved, if you don't think of these potential harms of innovation right at the start, that's not so good. So I think we're very, very well positioned for the future, and it's great to see the members' growth. And I hope this has added just a little bit of color behind some of these great numbers that Michele showed. And happy to take questions in the chat if you have any questions.
Did you want to talk
And
about?
yeah, I just want to say this slide, you can see some of us at the Computer History Museum at the bottom. And we had two of our ISSIP fellows, Steve Kwan and Lou Freund from San Jose State University. And mostly those are, you see Michele and I in the middle, but mostly those are San Jose State University students. Mentoring students is so much fun. And Deb Satterfield is leading our AI Collab. We've worked with students from many different universities. Four in particular, this last session really got deep into generative AI. I'll just mention later today, I'm going over to San Jose State University. There's a new crop of students that are going to be working on building AI digital twins with some of us. So again, as a professional association that connects industry and academia, if you're in industry and you can carve out just 30 minutes a week to be a mentor for these students, you'll have friends for life. They're very, very grateful to connect with us folks in industry, to give them advice, to connect on LinkedIn. And the way I use it is and this goes to the give, get, and grow message that we have in ISSIP. I give my experience as an executive from IBM and Apple, but what I get back is these young learners who will dive in and explore these generative AI tools and come back and write reports and read books. Some of our students will actually read a whole book and summarize it back. So mentoring students just 30 minutes a week, and you get so much more back. I really think if we could, and a lot of our membership growth is these students signing up and telling their other students about this. So wherever we can, some of you are from academia, some of you are from industry. Those of you who are in academia as faculty, I'm sure there's students that would love an industry mentor. Those of you in industry, if you can find that 30 minutes a week, we can do some great things, help a lot of students, learn a lot ourselves, stay in touch. I always view it as kind of reverse mentoring because we learn so much from the students as well. Anyway, happy to answer any questions anybody would have about mentoring, but it is, now that I'm retired, it is still just fantastic. I mentored students at IBM, and I have to say it was harder when you're juggling a full-time job and you worry about missing that 30-minute slot because your senior vice president calls you into a meeting right at that same time. But it is possible to do quite a bit with these students, even as a busy industry executive, and they get so much out of it.
Actually,
All
let me
right.
drop in. I asked, so this
Mhm.
is the group at San Jose State on this day. I asked them because, you know, in a prior year, we were not selected for the student projects. They choose who they want to be doing the work for, right? And I asked, why did you pick ISSIP on this one particularly? And it was, you know, Yash Gandhi in this group had said, whoa, we're being mentored by Jim Spohrer and getting to play with AI, generative AI tools. And but that combination, I definitely was hearing a theme over and over. They do value it very much.
We in industry have a lot we can help them with, broadening their connections and connecting on LinkedIn, and they can do so much incredible research and help us stay on top of things as well. So it's a
peek
win-win.
into money talk, Jim.
Yeah, just very briefly. So this is our financial statements right now. In our checking account, we have about 55,000 in our savings, which is the ISSIP Foundation, which will eventually, as that builds up, there'll be like an annual Best Service Innovation Award coming out of ISSIP once that builds up. So that's our financials at the moment. And I do see a couple of our institutional members on. I know we have a slide on that later, but Marcus Varg from the Service Design Institute for Service Design there in Hamburg, Germany. I want to shout out to you. Thank you, Marcus, for being an institutional member. Michael Turek from University of Washington. I'm going to shout out to you. Thank you for being an institutional member. I don't see Vital Prabhu from Penn State University, but he's also an institutional member. And Jens Neuhutler from Fraunhofer, I know you're working on that. So I just want to shout out to you, the institutional members. Your support is critical, of course, as well. So over to you, Michele.
Thank you. So as we shift into just the update reports from focus area leaders, I just want to share with you the calendar, put it all in context. This is the ISSIP 2024 calendar, and this is on our website, issip.org. If you go to events, it shows upcoming everything. This one is freshly updated with a few new things going on in these lines we'll talk about. And all the conferences Jim mentions are now, these are the ones that we intend to sponsor, participate in, and there are best papers at a couple. But running across the top in the bright green, always awards, and Haroon Abbu is on the call, and he'll talk about that in a minute, where we're at in the process. But expect to be announcing in the spring, nominations in the fall. Our own governance is this next session, this call. We have these progress calls with our board of directors twice a year, the last Wednesday of January and again in July, where we look at the last 6 months and what's going on and how we're doing against goal. Our elections call for nominations, so be thinking now. We need nominations in September for VP 2025, who will be the president the following year. Our strategy council, as Deb mentioned, met in January. They'll typically meet somewhere in the first quarter and again in the fall, planning, keeping us relevant. And you can look on our leadership page of the website to see who are those companies and types. It's a mix of academic and industry and government, NGO. We'd like to have government. So keeping us relevant, defining the topics for the Discovery Summit. New this year, you'll hear actually in just a sec, the new Give, Get, Grow campaign will be a quarterly get together like Christine Ouyang does with the ambassadors. That is such a cool thing where it's just a virtual hour connecting with each other. What are you working on? Who are you? What are you working on? Connecting. And that's what we're envisioning basically for members, all ISSIP members, to be able to just patch in and connect with each other a bit on a standard quarterly basis. Then in events, break out into these types, which again is in the events section of the website if you want to delve more deeply. But the weekly speaker series, these are all different in types and length. I know we have a few guests checking us out. So the weekly speaker series tends to be someone that's been recognized by ISSIP or won an award or earned a credential, or one of you knows to be doing great work and is nominated to come speak. And it's just a 30-minute what I'm working on or why this is amazingly important that they share. with the ISSIP community. TBD here. So usually it'll be the award winners are first invited. So a 30-minute talk across time zones. There are, 3 different times depending on where you are in the world, because at least half of our membership is outside the States, half is in. The Discovery Summit is a more in-depth, the big topic for the year, right? A 3-hour block, couple panels, keynote speaker. We'll be announcing the topic in April here, but as Deb, I think already told you, it's work transformation in the AI age, not the ice age. So the full program, all the speakers, specific topics, panels will be the month later, summit itself, and then we follow with a white paper. There's going to be a new series we'll announce here in February in development now with Penn State University School of Engineering, where many of our collaborating universities and schools and industry multi-lens across industry, academia, government, NGO, getting multiple perspectives on a topic. And at the high level here, you see what they are envisioned to be every other month. And the Ambassador Panel Series, which was a huge hit last year, that was a vision of Christine Ouyang and Cecilia Lee put this together. And I know it's already getting fleshed out. Christine put out a survey and has already begun dropping in the topics that ambassadors are suggesting they'll talk about across month. And that's a 1-hour virtual patch in. An ambassador with a passion on a topic chairs a talk or writes a piece for the news that month on a topic. We're committing to every other month. If you have stuff you want to talk about, we'll do every month. It's you putting it together, right? So ISSIP will provide the platform. The ambassador gathers the people, hosts, and puts it and shares insights. The recording goes out to YouTube after, and we promote in social media. The conferences we talked about, and here are the ones we're envisioning this year. Publishing, Jim, I think, said there were 15 books we expect to come out this year, and we'll be especially promoting, I'm aware of this one, the Servitization book, with a tour in person here in Silicon Valley and across the world, I guess. And then there will be announcements from our collaboration partners, the new institutional members. You'll probably hear a little bit when each of them speaks, but we just announced the 4 new institutional members: University of Washington, Center for Business Analytics, Penn State University School of Engineering, IFSD, the Institute for Service Design in Germany, and Fraunhofer, IAO, in Germany, who you'll hear from in a little bit. So announcing them January, February, soon as the Penn State Job Fair. University of Washington has a FinTech challenge we're going to be supporting, and this line will be filling out. So that's the broad calendar. Vaishali is unable to be here, so let me just, because we're growing and because we're scaling that growth, it's hard to stay connected with each other. And we want to, that's a priority, is to understand what you value and make sure we're only increasing in our value to you as a membership association. So we're asking everybody to think about what it is you want to give to the ISSIP community, what you want to get from the ISSIP community, and how you want to grow yourself, your company, or what is it you want to give, get, grow. And that'll be the theme of these quarterly give, get, grow gatherings. G4, but that's behind, right? We have to be more G's. And it'll start towards the end of the first quarter. Vaishali Mane, who has worked with Google, worked with some great companies, and now she's consulting to a government entity. Great person. We'll be facilitating those sessions. More from Vaishali on that when she's back from India. But with 1,750 members, we already, we're challenged to connect with each other, and it is an important priority for us. And next on the agenda, we have Christine. I see that Christine is in her car. So Jim and I had said Jim will support. Christine, are you able to speak, or would you like Jim to step in here. Jim, I'm thinking it's over to you about
I
ambassadors.
think so too. And I'll share the updated ambassador list. But just so everybody knows, ambassadors are very special people. There's under 100 of them, and they connect ISSIP to other conferences, other professional associations, other research organizations and academia. Most of the ISSIP leadership are ambassadors to some organization, and the president has to approve them. Anyone can nominate them. They can self-nominate. In fact, any member of the ISSIP community can self-nominate. It's an important role, but it's primarily to get blog posts about what they're doing, events about what they're doing, and they really do comprise a very, very important part of ISSIP. I'm going to just show the presentation here with these will be announced in a blog post in a few months. All of these new ambassadors. I see Madhavi Godpol is on, so right here I'm circling her. She's the very ambitious new ambassador who's already done 2 ISSIP blog posts. So I commend you, Madhavi, for that. I'm not going to go through each one of the names, but you can see, in addition to their name and the organization they're connecting ISSIP to, just a wide variety. We try to go for diversity as much as we can, and we're very, very grateful to our ambassadors. And one of the things that Michele already mentioned is Christine. At the end of the year, she has a meeting with all the ambassadors, one that's Europe-friendly time, one that's Asia-friendly time, and the US has to split between those two. And everybody gets introduced. They just share what they're up to. Ambassadors take an annual survey that's important to us to get feedback from the community, and they help us generate a huge amount of content. A lot of the ambassadors lead conferences with the best papers. Ambassadors also often are the contact in the university for student groups that want mentoring. So ambassadors are very, very important to ISSIP. And Christine Ouyang, thank you so much for all you do to keep this program really vital. And thanks also to the ambassadors for all you do to support ISSIP. And I think a lot of the student members really look up to the ambassadors and would like to connect with them. And we've even had suggestions about maybe starting a student ambassador series if we can find a volunteer for that. Everything pretty much in ISSIP that we do to support our professional development requires volunteers. So I'll stop share and back to you, Michele.
Right there. Yes, so with that, over to Haroon to talk a bit about the awards and process. Haroon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Haroon Abbu. Thanks for all of you. Great presentation. Some nice work is going on out there. I'm in Research Triangle Park in Raleigh, North Carolina. I am the Senior Vice President for Digital Data and Analytics here at a company called Bell & Howell. I've been involved with ISSIP for about a little over 2 years now. So my role is Awards Committee, ISSIP Recognition Awards Committee that I chair. Just to give you some kind of a brief overview, ISSIP Excellence in Service Innovation Award is given each year to a company or an organization that has deployed new service that, in the judgment of ISSIP Awards Committee, is the most innovative of all the submissions for that year, with an impact to business, impact to society, and impact to innovation. Runner-ups are also recognized as well. The timeline was typically we open up call for nominations in August, and then seek nominations through January. It looks like I know today is the last day of January. Sometimes we do extend the deadline, but we are getting close to the nomination deadline for this year. We then complete scoring, tallying, and announce the winners in April, culminating in a press release and ISSIP social media announcement. Winners also have optional speaker series opportunities that are published on ISSIP YouTube channel also, so they get somewhat of a wider reach. Each nomination we score on 7 attributes: uniqueness, creativity, technical merit, value generated, business impact, societal impact, and innovation impact. So ISSIP Awards Committee members, you see there, we have a total of 7 members, including myself. Members are Haluk Dimikaran, I think he's on the call, Vitaldas Prabhu, Shrikant Parekh, Gopal Balakrishnan, and obviously, of course, Jim Spohrer is a good mentor. He's done this for years and years, and thank him for all his support. And Yasi Mogadin is the recent addition to the awards committee. I welcome her to the awards committee as well. It has been great working with you all, and looking forward to doing the 2024 judging starting in the next month or so. So in 2023, we created the overall winner category to recognize excellence in overall excellence in service innovation that combines overall impact scores of the 3 pillars of these awards, which is impact to business, impact to society, and impact to innovation. And then we have individual awards for each of those 3 areas: impact to business, impact to innovation, and impact to society. In addition to recognizing winners in each of these categories, we recognize additional 8 for distinguished service also. So overall, it's a great program. We want more and more companies to hear about it and be part of this recognition process, and be proud about their service innovations. That's my update. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Haroon. We're thrilled that you're continuing and chairing again this year. And I see Jim's just added the link in chat. This is the day. Now you've got till midnight. Please get those nominations in for excellence in service innovation. Judging starts, I guess tomorrow is February. Starts tomorrow. So February, March. We did already talk about ambassadors, and Deb Satterfield let us know she's unable to make the call, but she sent some thoughts. We've talked about how exciting it's been, the participation. These are the 4 universities you see across the bottom here. And Deb had sent in notes, make sure and say that those, the initial participating schools were all terrific. We engaged students from undergraduates in design to graduate students in a variety of service areas, industry areas, all with tremendous success and insightful work. They gave professional presentations. Jim, Deb, and I had participated, and I think Deb, actually, did you want to say a word about that interaction with the students? Deb's class.
Absolutely. That was such a fantastic experience. And I'm reminded, this is why I love working with students, because they always take such a fresh approach to any challenges that you give to them. Nobody's ever told them they can't do something, which is just absolutely fabulous. And the conversations and discussions that we had with those students were just so invigorating, so informative, educational, if you will. I have to say that Deb did a fantastic job of pulling those students in and really capturing their attention and getting them engaged in the conversations that we had with them. Additionally, I think they gave us some really good feedback on some of the questions that we asked them to ponder and come back to us with. So I think overall it was a great experience for us, a great experience for them, and look forward to having more of those in the coming up.
Actually, I would toss in too, the access to this resource as far AI academic industry collaboration, the AI Collab students, is of real interest to the prospective institutional members we're in conversation with now. The idea of being able to deploy them on projects and get their insights and skills in some of these tools. And Jim, mentoring the students we talked about earlier, but the pilot second half of 2023 was on using generative AI to they created how-to playbooks for us and created all those videos on great service innovations of time. And UW is going to do more of that in the spring. And now Jim's working with many of the same universities, and we're looking at adding in use on creating digital twins, which is really exciting. Jim, did you want to maybe conclude with what Deb had said were her calls to action?
Yes, happy to. And it's basically get involved, get involved, get involved.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, if you're in academia, you have access to the students. If you're in industry, we've got to figure out how to get you involved in this and how you can get your peers involved in this, because this is such an important thing. I'm going to just, share my screen again, and I just want to share, hopefully you can see, this is the blog post about the students. That's an AI generated image. And these were the students from Penn State University. You can see their LinkedIn, their digital certification. Here they are. You can click on these and see the service innovation case studies they developed with generative AI for different innovations like the airplane, the automobile. They put these on GitHub. I'll just click on one so you can see it. This is the evolution. This is text generated by generative AI. They had images generated by generative AI, and they even had videos generated by generative AI. And if I go back here, you can see, the Cal State University team, they did so much. I haven't even been able to put links into everything they did. It was an enormous amount of work. And Deb wanted us to remind people that some of these student projects can be 5 weeks, some can be 15, 8, 12. So depending on how much time, if you're in industry, you can put in. The other thing I wanted to share is right now, we're working with students to do digital twins. And what I found is having a Slack channel with the students is just really fantastic. I don't know if you can hear this or not. Let me see if I can you probably cannot hear anything because I'm not hearing anything. But this was a student from Penn State University, Bryn Goldman, and she was so excited. She said, it just took her a very short amount of time, and she was able to create an avatar of her that she could type in the text and it would say it, and she could throw a switch and it would be in Chinese. She doesn't speak Chinese, but she was impressed that it could do that. So it's great when these students really get into these tools and start playing with them and using them and showing what they're developing. And what the students at Penn State are trying to do is oftentimes, like even this event, I think 3 people said, sorry, I can't be here, but I wish I could. And they some of us send a video clip, some send us a little bit of text to read. But imagine you're a busy ISSIP ambassador or leader, and you say, I can't be there, but I'm sending my avatar. And boom, you're there. And we can ask it questions, and it answers the question. So this is what the students are prototyping for us. And I'll just see if I can. I'm not sure how I can get out of this this thing. Oh, there it is. I can click on that and get out of it right here. But with Slack, you can see, here's the questions they have for us to get answered. We can answer questions back. We can share things. So really, I think we need to evolve in ISSIP some best practices for making it easier for getting these mentor relationships going, because it is just so much fun. Anyway, back to you, Michele.
Okay. Thank you. It really is. It's been a learning experience for all of us involved, I think, and exciting. Let's move. This has been so much fun. We're at the 11-minute mark. So I want to make sure we do have time to hear from our newest institutional members. And running across my screen, I've got Michael Turek. You are first up on my screen in any case of the University of Washington. Could you say that word or two about why it is you're supporting ISSIP and interested in collaborating?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for inviting me here today and for the opportunity to speak. I'm Michael Turek. I'm a teaching professor at the University of Washington, Tacoma, and I also direct our Master's of Science in Business Analytics degree program, and I'm also an associate director of our Milgard Center for Business Analytics, and I probably do some other things too. But it is one of the things that I'm constantly looking for as an instructor is constantly in my mind and a program director. How can I enhance the student experience, and how can I continue to bring relevancy to our curriculum, and in order to prepare our students for the new world, right, that they're about to embark on. And my first interaction or exposure to ISSIP was the Discovery Summit last quarter, and I got to say I was blown away by the speakers and the presentations and the breadth of content. It was just so intriguing, and I thought this is something I really want to know more about and be a part of. And since then, I've had an opportunity to work with you along with Jim and Michelle and the AI and Deb with the AI Collab, which gives us that opportunity for our students to really work on something real relevant and timely as it's being developed, and also to take our FinTech Incubator Challenge to the next level by your amazing generosity with our speakers to give great industry insights and additional coaching to our students from just great sources of and wealths of knowledge. So that's why I'm here, and I want to also say thank you again very much.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. And in no order, I'm next up on my screen, in any case, among our institutional members, I see Jens Neuhutler. Are you able to?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much, Michelle. Yeah, my name is Jens. I had a research and innovation center. It's called the Research and Innovation Center for Cognitive Service Systems in Heilbronn, which is a city close to Stuttgart. And yeah, I'm from Fraunhofer, so we do applied research. And we are especially dealing with cognitive service systems at our research field. And the main motivation I am wanting to join ISSIP as an institutional member is because we have a lot of new research coming to our institutions. We're currently growing very fast. And I do feel we have a lot of people coming from the technological sides that are dealing with AI technologies and data science and all of that, that are kind of missing the service perspective. And then we have these people more coming from the business side or psychology side that are dealing with phenomena of service science in a broader sense, but are lacking the technological view to it. And I feel like ISSIP is always great for combining these things and bringing all these new topics together. And I feel that it could be of high value to all these new members to really learn what is going on in the world in these topics and how to bring these topics together. So I'm really looking forward to all of the formats that you were presenting earlier, Michelle and Jim. Yeah, and I'm happy that we can join the club.
We're
Thank you.
thrilled to have you, Jens. I don't see Marcus or.
Yes, he's there. I see him. He's
Marcus Varg, are you there with IFSD?
Hi, Michelle. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. Yes, I'm in contact with Jim, Bo Edwardson, and Steve since 2008, and I see how strongly service and service for service exchange changes working, social, and other economic practices. And I derive from, with the Institute for Service Design, we derive from the core concepts of service science and SD logic, a construction plan for platforms, architecture called service dominant architecture. And it's getting more and more relevant in practice too. Just 2 weeks ago, Allianz, a great German insurance company, built on this architecture, derived from service science concepts, built on this architecture, its health platform. So we see after a lot of years, it's getting more and more relevant, and I'm really enthusiastic and happy to be part of ISSIP.
We're excited too, Marcus, about the resource you've given us in working with Lennart. Very cool.
It's a pleasure.
Running across, I see Haluk shifting over now to, oh, I'm sorry, is Vital Prabhu? I don't see Vital aboard, is that right, with Penn State?
No, I was just on a call with him, and he was going into a follow-on meeting. So he at Penn State University. So he's very actively building his service systems engineering program there, and they had a lot of meetings today. So don't see him able to join yet.
Understood. But very good work afoot. So let's turn over for a minute or so from each of our board members that is on the call. Haluk, you're up first on my Haluk Demirkan.
Sure, thank you, Michelle. My name is Haluk Demirkan. I have been involved with ISSIP since first day, right, Jim? I think 2012. And
I think even before the first day, you were way ahead of the curve.
0 day, minus 10.
0 day.
Yeah. I mean, I really believe in value co-creation. I really think service innovation is about value co-creation. So this ISSIP actually gives me opportunity to co-create value with others and for others. So that's why I really enjoy it. I have been participating in most of the programs such as book publication, award program, Collab, and also those are the programs I'm planning to participate next year. Like I said, this gives a huge opportunity for me to meet with students, other researchers, industry practitioners, to learn, to educate, to share my knowledge, to mentor, all those activities. So yeah,
thank you. Hello.
I want to give it time for others too. So
bringing us that both academic and industry perspective at UW and Amazon. Thank you. Annie Hardy, I see you with Cisco.
Howdy. Yes, the Cisco, we're one of the original people who created, I say people, entities. Amar is one of the original people who came up with the idea of ISSIP and kind of brought it to life. And we've been excited to continue to be a partner with ISSIP because we believe in investing in a community of professionals who are dedicated to the craft of service design and innovation there within. I think a lot of organizations focus on the craft of service design and what is today. And ISSIP uniquely plays the role of focusing on the future of service innovation. And I think that's very unique. And I think it's super important. I think there's a lot of noise in the market. There are a lot of important conversations that are happening, but this one I specifically believe is important from a perspective of co-creation, where it is industry partnering with academia, partnering with the public sector as well. And great work is happening. I'm inspired, I'm informed and educated from a very selfish perspective, informed and educated and inspired by the people that are part of this organization. And so, Cisco overall is excited to be part of it. And I personally have gotten just a tremendous amount of value and connections and just been really happy to be a part of it. So I was in the strategy committee. Now I'm kind of 1 foot in the board, 1 foot in the strategy committee, and whole in supporter of ISSIP.
Thank you, Annie. Yasi Mogadam, you want to say a few words?
Hi, everyone. I'm Yasi Mogadam, and I'm really blown away with everything that the ISSIP community and ISSIP volunteers have accomplished in 2023. And so a big thanks to everyone, and especially to Michelle and Utpal and the other folks on the leadership team and all the volunteers. For me, ISSIP is, I came to ISSIP in 2013, and the reason I have stayed is that, technology innovation is important, but alone is sometimes empty. And what that technology is in the service of is really the key to innovation, in my view. And that is what ISSIP has been driving. And as Annie said, educating us all. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm looking forward in supporting the vision of ISSIP going forward, what Deb shared. And I personally would like to see how we can get our students more engaged in the AI Collab and you know, growing that community of student ISSIP members and institutional members collaboration. So thank you.
Thank you. Amar Reyes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michelle. I know we're running out of time, but really glad to be here. I'm, as you may know, the founding president of ISSIP. We founded in 2013 with Jim Spohrer. Yassi, I think, was there, and many other members. So it's great progress since there. I think this is more than 10 years anniversary. So congratulations, everybody, and looking forward to more opportunities and to more engagement.
Thank you, Amar. Let's go over to Jim Spohrer. I think the final of our board members online, but Jim's also got Sunil, a quick video, and Jeff.
Yeah, let me, because I know we're almost out of time, and I want it. Sunil went through the trouble here to create a fantastic video. So
to my ISSIP colleagues, I wanted to
wait, yeah, I'll restart it here. Sorry, I'm just moving windows around so I can make it full screen. Okay, here we go.
This is Sunil Kripalani. To my ISSIP colleagues, I wanted to congratulate everyone on a fantastic 2023. I've had the privilege of being on the ISSIP board for the better part of 10 years. And while I couldn't join the call live today, I wanted to make sure I could share some of what I think are incredible accomplishments for ISSIP over the last year. When you think about the growth in membership, we've seen almost a 10% growth in members. We've seen a significant increase in institutional members. We've seen a massive increase in our LinkedIn followers. In fact, we're up to 1,000 followers, which is double of where we were in 2022. When we think about digital certificates, 142 certificates, 11 books, 19 events with recordings posted on YouTube, really, really incredible progress. And, you know, I continue to believe that ISSIP has incredible momentum and a lot of wind in our sails. And as we start to get into new frontiers, whether it's driving new innovations with partners in academia, with startup partners and other organizations, I think we are in a market space and a technology space that just has incredible momentum. So thank you all for a fantastic 2023, and here's to a great 2024. Take care, everyone.
And that's Sunil, and I'll stop sharing and just say, yeah, I think when 12 years ago, when some of us got together, we wanted to create a professional association because we saw so many professional associations dipping their toe in the service water, but some of them were business professional associations, some of them were technical, some of them were social economic, and we wanted a place where everybody could feel welcome, no matter what their discipline, no matter what their industry. So we created ISSIP, and I think as long as we continue to see our membership grow, we know there's interest, and look forward to another great year with you all.
Thank you, Jim. And I hope we've heard from everyone. We really try to respect that top of the hour cut, and I thank you all very much for participating today. On to another great year.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Have a good
everyone,
day.
for
Bye.
joining.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
Hey,
Okay. We're down to the executive committee.
that's right. I'll end
And
the
yeah.
meeting for all and the recording. Thank
Sorry, I
you.
wasn't able to talk. It's been one of those days, but it was fantastic to see everything, and I'm thrilled for the progress of the organization. Amazing.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for being our vice president, 2024,
Yes.
president 2025. And I know you're busy, but thank you for joining. You get the last word there. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye all.
everybody.